Hi everyone, it's Maya from WholesomeYum.com, and today I'm showing you how to cook asparagus in the oven. Roasted asparagus is one of the fastest, easiest side dishes you can make. It goes with just about any main dish, it uses basic ingredients, and it's ready in less than 20 minutes. You can serve this with chicken or fish or a nice steak. I have a recipe for that coming up as well. It goes with just about anything. It's particularly delicious during the spring months when asparagus is abundant and fresh, but I'm gonna be honest, I make this dish all year round. If you love simple, healthy recipes like this that use just a few ingredients, delicious vegetables, be sure you subscribe, that way you'll know as soon as I post more of these. But for now, we're making some roasted asparagus. Let's do this. We're going to start by lining a sheet pan with foil. Now, if you like, you can line the pan with parchment paper instead, but just keep in mind, if you want that nice browning on the asparagus, you're not going to get that with parchment paper. So I recommend foil, and I use a larger piece like this so that I can get it all around the edges. It makes for really easy cleanup. If you like, you can just roast the asparagus directly on a sheet pan as well, because we're gonna have oil in this roasted asparagus recipe, but up to you if you want to line your pan or not. Next, we're going to trim the woody ends off of the asparagus. My stalks are a little bit thinner here, so they don't need too much trimming, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna gently bend the asparagus stalk until it breaks, and that natural breaking point is exactly where we wanna trim. So we're gonna discard those ends, or if you like, there's some soup recipes that you can use those in. Up to you, I usually just discard them. So we're just gonna trim all the pieces and arrange them on a baking sheet. If you like, you can just use a knife to trim the asparagus all at once. That is faster, but the result is less consistent. With this bending method, the asparagus is trimmed at exactly the right spot. Now we'll arrange the asparagus in a single layer on the baking sheet. That way it's gonna be seasoned nice and evenly. And we're gonna drizzle that with olive oil. If you wanna be precise, you're gonna need about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, but I usually just drizzle it on. And that's 2 tablespoons of olive oil for about a pound of asparagus. So if you have more asparagus, you'll need a bigger sheet pan and more oil. We're also going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Again, precision is not very important, so I actually like to use these grinders so that everything is fresh cracked. I just think it's more delicious that way. And we'll add 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and just sprinkle that on as well. I prefer the garlic powder over minced garlic because garlic is going to tend to burn at the higher temperature that we're going to be roasting this asparagus, and garlic powder will coat it really evenly. Next, you're going to toss the asparagus together. I like to just use my hands. You can use tongs if you like, up to you. But once everything is coated evenly, you want to be sure to redistribute the asparagus in a single layer. Try to have each piece touching the pan, or at least most of them. Now we're going to roast the asparagus in the oven. You're gonna roast it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's gonna take between 12 and 20 minutes, depending on how thick your asparagus is. Mine is thinner, so it's going to be faster. While that's roasting, I'm going to slice some lemon because I think lemon is just so delicious on asparagus, and I'm gonna show you how I cut perfect lemon wedges without the seeds. So you're gonna cut off the ends first and then slice the lemon in half. And then I'm just going to cut out the center white part, and that's also where the seeds are, so we're gonna get rid of most of the seeds that way. And from there you can just slice that into wedges, just like this. If you do this while the asparagus is roasting in the oven, you'll have the lemon wedges ready just in time for the asparagus to be done. My roasted asparagus is ready. This was so quick and easy, one of my favorite sides. I'm gonna transfer this to a plate now, serving plate. I like to use tongs. If you like, you can use a spatula as well. Doesn't really matter. I just like that I can grab a whole bunch. My asparagus here is a little thinner, so it's a bit harder to get nice browning on it when it's this thin. If yours is thicker, you'll be able to get browning by the time that it's cooked through. Okay, and there's one last step. A squeeze of lemon. You don't have to do this, but I think it's a must for roasted asparagus. It really brightens up those flavors. You can add as much or as little of the lemon as you like. I usually find that 1 wedge is enough, but you do you. Okay, let's try this. Get some on a
plate for myself here. I'm actually going to make myself a steak to serve this with right after, but I have to try this like right now. I'm going to give this a fresh squeeze of lemon. All right, here we go. That was so good. So fresh and lemony and perfectly crisp tender. So I'm going to serve this roasted asparagus with steak after this, but my other favorite pairing is pan-seared salmon. I have a video for that as well, so I'll link that down below so you can watch. I highly recommend making those together. They are the perfect pairing. Also, I wanna know, what's your favorite way to serve this asparagus? What would you pair it with? Tell me in the comments, or if there's a recipe you wanna see to pair with this, let me know and I'll be sure to make one for you. And I love seeing your creations, so if you make this asparagus, be sure to snap a photo, post it with #WholesomeYum so that I can see it. See you next time on Wholesome Yum, where I share easy, healthy recipes, all with 10 ingredients or less.